Good afternoon,
Afternoon.
and welcome to beautiful, historic Ellicott City. My name is Brian Schepter. I serve as Deputy Chief of Staff to County Executive Calvin Ball here in Howard County. Without further ado, I'd like to ask you to please welcome Maryland's 63rd Governor, leaving no one behind, Wes Moore.
Thanks so much, everybody. Good afternoon. It is warmer out today, huh? It's and first, just want to say how good it is to be back out here in Ellicott City. And first, Brian, I just want to thank you for all the work that you do and just the tireless efforts that you continue to put forward in making sure that Howard County just continues to thrive. And I want to first start off with giving a huge round of applause to your boss and my friend and our county executive, Dr. Calvin Ball. Dr. Ball really is a visionary leader and someone who puts in the work to make sure that hard things and big things happen, and also understands that in order for really big and important things to happen, it means you've got to have a really good team surrounding you. That if you ever want to see something about somebody, don't even look at the individual, look at the team that they continue to surround themselves with. And Calvin Ball continues to set such an incredibly high standard for not just what's possible, but also importantly what's possible when we work together. And so I just want to say it's a joy as always to be with you, my brother, and God bless you and thank you. Thank you. I want to also give a shout out to the Howard County leadership, both the leadership of the county council, but also the state delegation that Howard County continues to lead on. Delegate Watson and Senator Katie Fry-Hester, just making sure that every single day that Howard County is not just seen, heard, and represented, but also that the entire state continues to benefit from Howard County's remarkable leadership. And so to my friends and colleagues in the General Assembly and also with the Howard County Council, I just want to say thank you for being such remarkable partners and friends inside this work. And also I want to give a special shout to the members of our team and our administration, and especially to Secretary Russell Strickland. You know, Secretary Strickland, he's the person who, in many ways, if things are going really well, you don't hear from him. That when you are hearing from Secretary Strickland all the time, it's normally not a good thing, because he's the person who is the first responder. He's the person who generally, when you are getting calls in the middle of the night, it's generally Secretary Strickland, the first one on the scene. The first one mobilizing, the first one preparing, but also not just the first one to make sure that we are responding quickly, but the one who's making sure that we are preparing well. That we know in these jobs and we know in these situations that tragedies happen and tragedies strike. The ones who are the most equipped are the ones who are doing the best job preparing for it, and the ones who are putting things in place to make sure that it does not have to impact us as terribly as it could. And so, Secretary Strickland, I just want to say what an absolute joy it is to have you as a colleague in the work, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. And by the way, Delegate Feldman, I didn't acknowledge you as well. I want to say, as we're talking about the delegation, I just want to say again also what a thrill it is for me to have you as a partner inside this work, and how lucky this county is to have you representing its voice. So bless you and thank you. I just want to make sure I acknowledge you as well. Also to the entire Ellicott City partnership, to everybody here, that this is a team that isn't just committed to the area and to Ellicott City, but it's a team to really showing the entire state what right looks like and why it's so important that we are working together to be able to get this work done. Because when we are talking about these type of tragedies, we're not just talking about road closures and bad traffic. We're not just talking about people being inconvenienced. We're talking about, in many cases, and you don't have to look any further than what we can see here in eyeshot, of homes being destroyed, of businesses being wiped out, of aspirations being drowned out, of people's lives being on the line. We don't have to look any further than where we can see right now that the impacts of what we're talking about when it comes to change of weather and climate change, it is real. And having a proper infrastructure in place is imperative, not just to respond, but to prepare. And not just to the people of Ellicott City and the place who call it home, but it also asks a bigger question about, is our state prepared to actually prepare for big things and to do big things in that preparation? But in the wake of the disasters that we saw, in the wake of the tragedies that we saw, the people of Ellicott City and the people of Maryland did something pretty extraordinary. We came together and we turned that pain into purpose. That Ellicott City Safe and Sound Plan is one of the most ambitious series of infrastructure projects in the history of the state of Maryland. And it will help to ensure that what happened in 2016 and 2018, by the way, two storms that were century storms that then happened within 2 years of each other, that will never happen again. That this afternoon, we will write the next chapter in this work, the next chapter in preparation, the next chapter of the growth of Ellicott City. And that today, I am here to announce that the state of Maryland is providing 2 low-interest loans to Ellicott City totaling $10 million. That this funding is about making smart investments. That it's about fortifying our infrastructure. It's making sure that we are saving lives. That our first loan will be used to provide and to build culverts under Maryland Avenue. The second loan will go towards the North Tunnel project. And when it's completed, we will be able to move 26,000 gallons of water per second from downtown Ellicott City into the Patapsco River. These steps will not only just save lives, but also helping to save a community, and will also help to save the state money. Because you know what's more expensive than preparing for the next big flood? Having to recover from the next big flood. Immeasurably more expensive. And that every dollar that we will spend on mitigation saves Marylanders and saves Maryland taxpayers an average of $6 in return when it comes to recovery costs. Recovery is more expensive than preparation. So let's make sure that we're investing smartly and investing well from keeping tragedies from ever having to happen in the first place. This investment is smart. This investment is targeted. This investment will uplift the city and it will uplift the county in a way and at a time when we know that they need and deserve that support. So at a time when our federal government has canceled grants to make communities safer and more resilient, Maryland is choosing to show a different way. And we're actually choosing to invest in our communities. At a time where we're watching the federal government cancel supports for emergency management and telling states and local jurisdictions that if tragedy happens, you are now on your own. In Maryland, we're choosing to move differently and actually invest in our local jurisdictions, both in preparation and also in recovery. And today, we're going to show what it looks like to come together and build a state that is more safe and more sound, and show what it means to leave no one behind. So God bless you all. Congratulations. Thank you for the work. And thank you because today our state just got better. God bless you guys, and thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Secretary Russ Strickland of the Maryland Department of Emergency Management.
Thank you and good afternoon. It's always an honor to follow the governor because he's an individual who sees it, gets it, understands it, and it's a real pleasure to work along your side too. So disaster risk reduction is the cornerstone of emergency management, and the Resilient Maryland Revolving Loan Fund is a key program in making our communities safer. As the governor mentioned, we focus on really before, during, and after preparedness efforts for all three of those areas. This is where you normally see and hear emergency management is in the EOC or out in the field for response. This is where we're behind the scenes working to make a community safer by mitigation and providing that kind of continual resiliency that will protect the community. The Resilient Maryland Revolving Loan Fund offers proactive ways for communities to reduce their risk of impacts from hazards like flooding, hurricanes, severe winter storms, tornadoes, shoreline erosion, drought, and more. You name any natural disaster and we can work on it. This program helps local governments pay for major infrastructure changes like what has been designed in Ellicott City, which can strain local budgets. It may be used as the non-federal cost share for grants aiming to reduce disaster risk to communities across Maryland. One of the big things here in Howard County, and I want to recognize the county executive and the emergency management office in Howard County, but it's a collaboration among partners that makes Maryland safer. We say that Maryland is really a system of systems when it comes to emergency management. And that collaboration isn't just the best practice, it's our survival strategy. It's the mantra that rings true so often in the field. And with that, I would truly be remiss if we didn't recognize Howard County's Office of Emergency Management Director, Maria Bernazet-Kowski. Not bad? Thank you. In this disaster risk reduction effort, she is the next generation of emergency managers in this, not only the state and local, but the nation, who are seeing the importance of building resilience so that we do not need to respond and we do not need to recover because we built systems. That might be a pipe dream, but it's a dream we all should carry with us. So I appreciate the support that businesses, owners, nonprofits, and governments, all of the sectors that are affected by disasters, and we all come together in this readiness, resilience, and recovery when facing an emergency. These funds can be used for zoning and land use planning, establishing and enforcing resilient building codes, as well as the mitigation efforts like the North Tunnel Project and the Culvert Project. From the bottom of my heart to all of those of you from Ellicott City and Howard County, I had the opportunity to be here for 2016 and 2018. I know what you went through. I saw what you went through. I felt what you went through. And I admire you for what you're doing here today, because this is truly going to make a difference for your community. So thank you.
Our next speaker is Howard County's 10th county executive, and a man who works harder than anyone I know, making Howard County the best place to live, work, play, grow, and thrive for all. It's Dr. Calvin Ball. Please welcome him.
Thank you so much, Brian. Let me just say that, as our beloved governor said, it's a team effort. And every time that Howard County is successful, it's because we have an amazing team, many of whom are in the audience today. I just want to thank Governor Moore because we need visionary leadership. We need partnership now more than ever, at a time when too much division is causing retraction. We are leaning in and moving forward. And so please give our governor another big round of applause. And thank you, Secretary Strickland, and our other leaders around this county and this state. And welcome once again to historic Ellicott City. In 2011, 2016, and 2018, flash floods devastated our community. These floods tragically claimed 3 lives and cost tens of millions of dollars in economic harm to our town and damage. It was clear for years that historic Ellicott City needed a comprehensive plan for flood mitigation and enhanced public safety. We needed to retain our city's historic charm and provide the sense of security to our businesses, residents, property owners, and visitors that they deserve. In December of 2018, less than a month on the job as your county executive, I announced the Ellicott City Safe and Sound Plan to mitigate future floods and improve safety for all. The plan outlines 7 major infrastructure projects designed to reduce flooding in historic Ellicott City. These projects include 2 water conveyance projects and 5 water retention projects throughout our watershed. When complete, these projects will work together to reduce the quantity and the velocity of water on Main Street during major flooding events and make Ellicott City a national, if not international, model of resiliency. We made considerable progress on this bold plan in the last few years. In October of 2022, we cut the ribbon on the H7 pond located at the interchange of US 29 and 40. And this pond has the capacity to hold more than 4 million gallons of water during a heavy rain event. 4 months later, in February of 2023, we opened the Quaker Mill Pond, located at the intersection of Rogers and Patapsco River Road. That has the capacity to hold 3.3 million gallons of water. And under our comprehensive debris clearing system, the Department of Public Works and our local nonprofit EcoWorks inspect streams in Ellicott City watershed following significant rain and wind events. And since the launch of that program and partnership in 2019, we've had more than 25 debris clearing events and cleared approximately 100,000 pounds of debris from our waterways. We've installed high ground signage, gates to high ground automatically unlock now during storms, and we implemented an outdoor tone alert system. In June of 24, we broke ground on 2 additional projects, the Extended North Tunnel Project, which will be the single largest public works project in Howard County history, and is the focal point of our Safe and Sound Plan. This mile-long, 18-foot in diameter structure will stretch from West End to the Patapsco River. And in fall of 2025, the tunnel boring machine, affectionately known as Rocky, will be here in Ellicott City. And this 300-foot long device will carve through the solid granite right here in Ellicott City of roughly 150 feet below the surface. And just a year ago, we initiated construction on the H4 pond, located along Frederick Road just west of 29, and that pond will have the capacity to hold more than 5 million gallons of water, and that will be complete this fall. Still, 3 more of our essential projects remain in design phase, and we are working to secure construction, and today marks a big day, a big leap forward with that, thanks to our governor and our state team. Today, we stand in the footprint of what used to be a 4 flood-prone, deeply damaged structures right here. These buildings straddled the Tiber Branch, restricting the flow of water in the stream channel. Now, although the previous administration would have leveled 10 of these buildings through preservation and a focused strategy, we were able to save 6 of these uniquely constructed structures and deconstruct only 4. And after more than 6 years of vacancy, these buildings were finally removed during the spring with the support of our DHCD Strategic Demolition Funds, making a way open to activate this outdoor space for events just like today. Events where you see people playing games on the turf, eating, enjoying a book at the picnic tables, and our community just gathering for festivals and much needed space. The North Tunnel and Maryland Avenue culvert projects are the first projects to be awarded the Resilient Maryland revolving funds from the Maryland Department of Emergency Management, each in the amount of $5 million. That's $5 million of investment. And as you heard the governor say, that means for every $1 of investment where we are preventing, we are saving taxpayers $6. And we are so appreciative for these loans and this support. Now, as we celebrate the importance of this funding commitment, we are seeing troubling cuts across our great nation to the FEMA BRIC program. Now, while Howard County has not yet been directly impacted by these cuts, 2 additional loan awards, which will advance the T1 and NC3 mitigation pond projects, are currently being held for review again by FEMA. And unfortunately, we do not know when these funds will be released. At a time of increasing uncertainty, we are so appreciative for our steadfast partners like Governor Moore, like Secretary Strickland, like our state government. And I just want to thank again Governor Moore, who has been here from day one with Historic Ellicott City, with Howard County, with the entire region. And this ain't his first time here in Ellicott City. I also want to thank and recognize Senator Katie Fry-Hester, Delegate Courtney Watson. Their work in Annapolis has uplifted this community time and time again, securing millions of dollars for our town. And of course, I want to recognize the Ellicott City Partnership, whose voice has never wavered advocating for our community, our businesses, our town. We are taking those bold steps together for Ellicott City, and together we are not only a national model right here in Maryland, but an international model of resilience, of hope, of collaboration, of success. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is the senator from District 9, Katie Fry-Hester.
Anybody else hot besides me? I'll be as quick as I can. I wanted to start off just by thanking Governor Moore for coming again to Ellicott City and for being so optimistic and a ray of sunshine in a world that is sometimes very dark and full of hate. We need you more now than ever. And I want to thank the county executive. I was sitting here remembering one of our very first meetings where I told you we really needed a big blank tunnel. And I knew you got it. And so that brings us to today with your bold leadership. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Shana Hernandez, wherever she is, for working on this project for four years. Since 2019, Delegate Watson and I have really worked relentlessly with our partners at the state, the county, and the federal level to protect this town. I think that the total in grants we've gotten from the state is $65 million in grants, and probably with the loans, almost $100 million in loans, which is just phenomenal. But even as we were fighting for Ellicott City, we realized that this was a bigger problem than this one town, and the rest of the state could learn from us. You know, in general, the Northeast is seeing a 70% increase in extreme rainfall since the 1950s, and the Chesapeake Bay could rise by 5 feet by 2050. And I've seen some horrible projections where we're looking at $19 billion worth of potential damage if we do not invest. But that is not what we're doing, because we are being proactive. That's one of the reasons Delegate Watson and I sponsored this legislation to create the Resilient Maryland Revolving Loan Fund. And it's really the first of its kind. And Secretary Strickland has traveled around the world talking about this fund. It was designed originally to meet the local match needed to unlock federal funding through both the BRIC program and the STORM program, which, you know, historically has been there, and we hope it comes back. And to date, I think we've leveraged $20 million of that federal funding, but we're still waiting to make sure we get it all. But this fund is just as important when there is no federal match. These two grants here mean the world to this town, and it means we don't have to wait. We don't have to wait to save lives, homes, and livelihoods. This fund is also part of a much larger effort where the state is leading to make Maryland a national leader in resilience and climate adaptation. Since 2020, we've taken a number of really big steps. We started by creating the Resilience Authority, which allows counties to band together to bond for funding to do this kind of work. We elevated the Maryland Emergency Management Agency to a full-on department, rightly well-deserved. We established the Maryland Office of Resilience, and then, of course, the state recognized what a great leader Mike Hinson was, and he is now our first ever Chief Resilience Officer. We strengthened the Comprehensive Flood Mitigation Grant. Now 40% of that goes to underserved communities, and we've authorized the state to commit $20 million annually to that. And this year we authorized emergency fund transfers to the State Disaster Recovery Fund to help ensure our help, the state help, reaches the communities faster. So today's announcement is a milestone in our journey for all of our communities facing climate-related threats. We're preparing for it, and we're working to make Maryland a stronger, safer, and much more prepared. I just want to end by thanking a couple people who haven't mentioned yet. I'm incredibly thankful to President Ferguson and Speaker Jones and our own Chair Budget and Tax, Senator Gazzoni, for having the vision back in 2021 to put this money into this fund. They saw the ability to leverage, they knew how much money we could save by investing, and they got it done. I also want to thank the members of the partnership who are here and all of the business owners in Ellicott City who came back not once but twice to run their businesses. Your resilience, your vision, and your persistence is really what made today possible. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is the delegate from District 9A, Courtney Watson.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you. It's hard to describe a town in a few words. Any of you that have your own hometowns that you've loved over the years, what really comes to mind when you think about it is your memories. And there are billions and billions of memories in people's minds from people who have been to Ellicott City over 250 years. And some of those, for me, include walking Main Street when I was a kid in one of the parades that the town hosted. Being 16 with my newly acquired driver's license and being able to drive to Leidig's Bakery to pick up the rum buns for Thanksgiving morning. Bringing my Memphis-born boyfriend here for the first time. And then later shopping for wedding dresses on Main Street. You know, there are many memories that people have of their towns, and we are no different here in Ellicott City. We have a beautiful, wonderful celebration every Christmas when we light the Christmas tree, and we have the most fun night on Main Street, Midnight Madness, which Richard, my husband, loves because he can always get a picture or selfie with Elvis. Remember, he's from Memphis. So we would like to invite the governor, while he's here, to come light the Christmas tree, hopefully this year or maybe 1 year in the future. And for the staff that's listening, the governor's staff, this year it's December 5th at 6 p.m. We all have personal connections and memories, and they're repeated in people, in the residents of Howard County and the people that have enjoyed Ellicott City over the years. And this is no different from other towns like ours that face resiliency problems. The policies and the mechanisms are the nuts and bolts that you've heard from the Secretary and Senator Hester, from Governor Moore, from Dr. Ball. We were lucky enough to be the first, to be able to put these policies in place, to be able to figure it out, to do something that's never been done before, to solve a tedious, complex public infrastructure project and puzzle, and for threats that didn't exist 20 years ago. That kind of level of work and commitment requires a deep partnership between state and local governments. And much of the Safe and Sound plan is already complete and functioning. And when the North Tunnel is complete, this town will be the most resilient it can possibly be from the impact of climate change-induced flash flooding. We hope to model and assist other jurisdictions who are facing the same type of problem, such as Westernport, that happened a few weeks ago in Western Maryland. Ellicott City, I think, has collectively encouraged us to dig deep and not just for the North Tunnel, but to dig deep to work together in a way our citizens expect and have a right to expect, but don't always get in this day and age, in these times. So I want to thank Governor Moore especially for your commitment. You have been a joy to work with in terms of helping us be able to fund these improvements. For County Executive Ball, for your vision, dedication, commitment. When everyone else said tear it down, you said no. Secretary Strickland, we appreciate you and my partners in the legislature, Senator Hester in the Maryland General Assembly and the Howard County Council. But most of all, we thank the residents and the shopkeepers and the Ellicott City Partnership and the citizens across the county and the taxpayers who have supported this journey every step of the way, who unconditionally support Ellicott City. Thank you.
Our final speaker for this afternoon is Sharon Christensen, the Executive Director of the Ellicott City Partnership.
Good afternoon. The Ellicott City Partnership is a nonprofit organization and a Main Street, Maryland program member. We represent business owners and residents who operate and live within the Ellicott City Historic District. Our organization exists to honor, celebrate, and cultivate a thriving and diverse historic community in Ellicott City. This investment marks another improvement and step forward safeguarding our historic town, protecting residents and businesses, and ensuring resilience and vitality of Ellicott City for generations to come. This progress would not be possible without strong leadership, collaborative partnerships, and unwavering commitment of those who care deeply about our community. The Ellicott City Partnership extends its sincere gratitude to Governor Wes Moore and County Executive Calvin Ball for their continued support of flood mitigation efforts in historic Ellicott City. Together, we are making Ellicott City safer, stronger, and more secure for generations to come. Thank you to all who continue to champion these essential efforts.
That brings this afternoon's program to a close. I want to again thank all of our incredible speakers and partners here today. I want to recognize the staff that works tirelessly behind the scenes at the state and the local level to make all of this incredible work possible. And I want to shout out a couple of our elected partners that were here today as well. Councilmember Christiana Rigby, Delegate Jessica Felmark, Daniela Quara of Representative Sarah Alford's office, Jessica Cook of Senator Angela Alsobrook's office, Jessica Clayton of Senator Chris Van Hollen's office. I believe I've gotten all of our friends. We are going to close now, and we will have the speakers come up for a quick photo, and then we will do a media avail underneath the tent. Thank you very much.